Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode, what is this, episode 16, I think, of Let's Play Quake 4. I can check real quick. You'd think I would have checked before I started playing, but no, I'm not that smart, apparently. Yeah, episode 16 of Let's Play Quake 4. As always, I'm your host, Doomdog. My name's Josh. With me is my friend Dalton. Say hello.
Hello.
And we're picking up where we left off, which was, I think it was called Operation Last Hope, which sounds like we're a lot closer to the end than we actually are.
It really does.
Tweaker loaded.
Yep, tweaker loaded, because I need the tweaker to make the game work properly. So, we got a ton of good news over this week if you're a horror fan.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. So, where do you even want to start?
I guess Silent Hill was the first one, so...
Yeah, so...
What was that?
There was a big, like, 30 to 40 minute long video that Konami put out called Silent Hill Transmission, where they talked about a bunch of different Silent Hill projects that are in development right now. And when I say a bunch, I mean there's 5 of them.
Yeah. 3 games. One is like one's gonna be like a internet interactive like event. I have no idea what the one is. The Ascension one.
Yeah, I don't know what this is either.
It sounds like it's not even really a game, but there's that, and there's also a movie.
Yeah, from
there's
the
like 5
Christopher. The movie's from Christopher Gans, who directed the first Silent Hill film, which is, you know, the good one.
Yeah. So I think that should at least be pretty, like, halfway decent.
Yeah. I mean, there are fans that like to bitch about the first Silent Hill movie, right?
The hell is a squib doing here?
But considering it's a video game adaptation, and it's not too bad as a movie itself, which is, that's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Changes in the Rhino Squad since
Yeah, it's not amazing. It's not like
Sorry, buddy. I'm
brilliant horror like The Shining or something, but
we are expected at the mission briefing.
But it's still, I mean, it's an enjoyable flick, and there's a lot of stuff in it from the various...
piece of shit Strogg doing on board the Hannibal. How many Marines did they tear apart to build you?
Just one?
Yeah. It captures the essence of the games pretty well.
Yeah, like, it uses music directly from the games. The enemies and the creatures in it and whatnot are all directly from the games.
Think he's got a multi-phase.
It's kind of funny because in the movie it's a Christian cult, and in the games it's just like a random cult. You know what I mean?
Wonder what his RAM is.
Some ambiguous like religion or whatever.
Uses cerebral cortex?
Well, sure. It's there. Why not put it to good use?
You got a point. Maybe HQ would let us run some tests on it.
Excellent idea.
And a lot of people bitched about it's largely based on the plot of 1.
We need to get to the mission briefing soon.
Sir!
Oh yeah, I never heard that.
Yeah.
That is private.
The movie is largely based. I mean, it's got Alessa, which was from 1, and the Fire, and which was also from 1, and the Cult is from 1 originally, things like that. But a lot of people...
the first game you mean?
Yeah, it's largely based on the first game.
Yeah.
But a lot of fans seem to be very displeased about the fact that Pyramid Head is in it.
Yeah, because he was exclusive to, like James from Silent Hill 2's, like he was like a manifestation of his guilt and stuff, and
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like Pyramid Head is like in the pragmatic thing, like the sense of the whole thing. It's like he's like the icon of the series, and in like a marketing way, it'd be stupid not to use him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if it conflicts with the lore and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, And let's be honest, they've always had kind of a vague way of telling their stories in the Silent Hill games, and they needed something a little more concrete, I guess.
I hope they brought you here to experiment on.
Has HQ lost its
Perhaps you
mind?
could walk a little faster.
Why the hell are you being
We need to get
escorted
to the
around
mission
here?
briefing.
So it does simplify the game to a point, but I think that makes it work better as a movie, in my opinion. Because you're trying to draw in a bigger audience with the.
Shit, Kane really does look like a freaking Strogg.
That's enough, Rhodes.
General on deck!
I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people that only know Silent Hill from the movie.
Wayward
Like even more so than Resident Evil, like the Resident Evil
doctors have
movies. Like a
given
lot
him
of
a clean
people
bill of health.
like know Silent Hill just
Very
from
good.
that first movie.
It's been
mean,
determined,
especially
the
around my
Nexus
age
is
group.
too vast to be hurt by one
which
EMP bomb or a dozen. for
kinda
that
makes
matter.
me sad,
The strong
but
communication
because they didn't
network
play
needs
the
to be
great
cut off at the
games, but-
source, and that source is housed in this building, the core. We're
But
about to
I
execute a
think
massive
bringing him
assault
back
to destroy
do
the core.
a new movie
Unfortunately,
was
it's very
a
well
smart
protected.
move if you're going to
We'll
do
need
a
to
new
access
movie,
the
because
security stations
the
at the
guy
tops
genuinely
of these
seems
nearby
passionate
towers.
about Silent Hill.
Data storage,
know?
networking.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did when he
Data
made the first movie
processing.
too.
And that would be where Corporal Kane comes in.
Correct. Intelligence believes
Yeah, he wasn't
that
involved
because
in
of
the second movie. The
his
second
strong
movie is complete
physiology,
garbage.
Kane is
Revelation.
the only one who can
Yeah.
deactivate the security stations.
Didn't they
So
bring
at
back
first-
Pyramid
Kane,
Head in that one
you
too?
most likely are the last best
I don't
hope
think
of
so. There's like an
destroying the
original.
Nexus.
I remember there's like an
Strauss
original
will need your expertise
weird
at the
monster in
networking
it, but I
tower
can't. I haven't
to
seen.
gain
I only seen it
control.
once, like
Hacking the
years and
Strogg
years ago. I
network
can't really
will not
remember
be an
too much
easy
about it.
task.
I just remember
but
it sucking
with the
pretty
proper
bad.
equipment,
Because
it
that's
can
pretty.
be
That's
done.
pretty much an
Very good.
adaptation of the third game.
Lieutenant Morris, you have the floor.
Like
I
Heather's
need
the
to
main
get myself
character.
a copy
All
of
right,
the third
gentlemen.
game, but
This one's going to turn the tide of
it's
the
so
war.
stupid
$60.
expensive
Strauss,
to do
you're
it.
being transported by land. Kane, you're going out with the next part of Salt Wave. The launch bay is nearby.
Battle stations. A Strogg force is incoming. Flyers and ground troops are confirmed.
Okay.
Guess they brought it to us. Let's make them regret it. Move out!
But like, I want to get a copy of the third game, but it's so fucking expensive to get a copy.
Yeah.
Like,
Pretty much any game now.
like
Any horror game.
it's what
Exterior shield sustaining heavy damage.
Strong flyers approaching at 3 o'clock. I'm on them. Damn! Just keep coming.
Shields are at 86%.
Can I get a weapon?
Crap! Can't get a lock on the flyers. They're coming in too low.
Can I get a weapon?
Target them visually.
Shields at 72%. Rerouting power from propulsion.
Here. Guess even you get one of these. It's a shotgun that's been modified to take place. Yeah! Take that, you freaking swift! My turret's been hit! I'm on fire! Help me!
Shields currently at 63%.
Harvesters approaching on the left flank. We need walkers over there ASAP. They're trying to take engineering.
Warning, exterior
I can't go
shields
that
are
way?
at
Okay.
48%.
But they announced some other things. First off, there's gonna be a remake of Silent Hill 2, which is like everybody's favorite.
Get us some air support right now.
Yeah, that was a the big headliner of the transmission.
Damage reported on deck 2. Damn it.
Because I mean, at first everyone thought that was going to be the only thing, and then they just kept going on and on about different games and stuff. It was kind of surprising,
Yeah,
actually.
they went on a little too long about the movie, but I'm glad that the movie's happening. I went backwards. I'm glad that the movie's happening. It looks. I mean, I hope it's good. And it's to me very obviously that Christopher Gans cares deeply about
Danger. Exterior shields are at 13%.
Silent Hill and wants to do it justice.
Another strong transport just landed. Where the hell are they all
Yeah.
coming from? There's too many. There's just too damn many.
Oh, but yeah, Silent Hill 2 remake
From Blooper Team.
being Bloober Team, which a divisive team because they make walking simulator horror games. They don't have much experience making like third-person like combat, games with combat in general, really.
Step right in, son. This pod's for you. This is Bay 42. The pod is away.
I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, oh yeah, and also it's a PS5 exclusive. It's gonna fuck over a lot of people.
Yeah, well, we all knew we were eventually going to start getting games exclusive to the next gen. It always happens.
Yeah, I mean, it should. I mean, it's kind of funny how it's taken this long for that to happen, because in a way it should happen that way, but this generation is so fucked up in general. This is definitely the weirdest generation.
Nobody's been able to fucking buy one.
Yeah, this is like the first generation that I can think of where it's like you still cannot get one fucking 2 years out from the initial release of the console. It's really bizarre to see, really.
Yeah, and both Microsoft and Sony are having this problem.
Engine prep cycle complete.
What was it, like limitations on hardware, like chips and shit?
Yeah,
that's what I was.
Still, yeah, like.
Prepare for launch. 5, 4, 3.
But I mean, I have a PS5. But I mean,
I don't. I need to get one eventually.
Yeah. I mean, I just succumbed to the. I just got to the point where I'm like, I'll just buy a fucking scalp copy, whatever. I just got one off eBay. But I mean, at some point, like the game should be starting to just like abandon the previous gen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it sucks that a lot of people can't get it, but at the same time, though, Silent Hill 2, it's not going to be an exclusive forever. I mean, it's going to have a year exclusivity, and then it's going to come to Steam and
and they haven't announced any other platform, but probably Xbox.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point, yeah.
But it'll probably be like a year or more after. But then again, that didn't happen with everybody predicted that Final Fantasy VII Remake would come to Xbox after the exclusivity time period ended, and that didn't happen.
Nope.
Instead, they brought up the PS5.
It's on PC, it's on PS4, PS5, and just not on Xbox. It's like Xbox is that weird, like, redheaded stepchild of like the consoles. You know what I mean? When it comes to like these like third-party games going on there.
At the storage tower. This is Lieutenant Hollenbeck. Regroup in my position ASAP.
Yeah, I kind of understand Sony's point. Like, Microsoft swears up and down that they're not going to take Activision games away from Sony, but would you trust Microsoft any further than you could throw them into a hurricane?
No.
Yeah, neither would I. So I understand their concern because, I mean, Microsoft promises over and over again that they won't do it, but then again, you're also like, wouldn't they just say anything they have to try to get the deal done? You know?
Yeah.
Just wait a second and I'll be done.
So yeah, good luck with that Call of Duty IP.
Finished. Back into the war, Marine.
Yeah.
Almost said IPA. I mean, I'm drinking beer, but like, I know where my mind is.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty IPA.
If the merchandising gets to that point, I mean, there might be a Call of Duty IPA.
Yeah, I honestly would not be surprised. I mean, I could totally see that happening.
Somebody tell me where I am.
But the bitching that I don't get is people complaining about James' face in the mirror.
Yeah, I mean,
that has spent 3 years mourning his dead wife looks like he spent 3 years mourning his dead wife, and you're complaining.
I saw people saying like he shouldn't be having those expressions and stuff because he, I mean, spoilers for the game. Like later end, like near the end game of the, well, like a later point in the game, like near the end of the game, like he watches the VHS and watches himself smothering his wife, and like that's when he's like, it's like, oh no, I killed my wife and blah blah blah. Like because throughout the entire game he doesn't really show too much emotion about it, and like a lot of people are complaining about the fact that he does show emotion in the remake like trailer and stuff.
But God damn it. The manual, God, I miss manuals, for the original game straight up says he's been mourning his wife for 3 years.
Yeah. So yeah, mourning, because I think I've only ever actually beaten the game once, like years and years ago. But like, because he knows his wife's dead, but like I think he's in denial about the fact that he was the one that like killed her. I think I could be wrong.
Yeah, he does know his wife is dead.
We've done it, HQ. We've broken into the main armory.
He mentions that at the very beginning of the game. He said Mary died from that damn disease 3 years ago.
Yeah. Because, but at the same time, like, that could also be a limitation of the hardware at the time. But it could be all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, people are also complaining about just the fact that how he looks in general. Like, I think he does look. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean,
he looks.
I mean, I don't have a problem with this, like how he looks. I mean, I don't mind like chains and stuff. He does look like weirder.
I mean, I look at him and I see James, so I'm not gonna complain too much.
I mean, either way, I don't really care either way about the. When it comes to like the people's like appearances, I don't really care too much. I mean, it's a remake. Who cares? I'm just concerned about how it's going to be, honestly, in general, like the combat and.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
I mean, that's how I am too. Just considering the team. I mean, I don't mind Layers. I mean, I played a little bit of Layers of Fear, which is what Bloober Team made, one of their original games, and. Like, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's just the fact that the types of horror games they used to make, or that they have been making, it doesn't really translate too well into Silent Hill. I don't think.
I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic, hoping it'll be good.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Whenever it comes out, they didn't have a release date or anything. I don't know if it's gonna be next year, like late next year, or what. You know, sure. I've been kind of thinking that it's gonna be on the same level as the RE3 remake in terms of how divisive it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be that level of divisiveness in the community.
Even if it's ultra faithful, it probably will be, because Silent Hill fans love to bitch.
Oh my god, yes, and fucking fog posting on Facebook. Oh yeah. A lot of bitches.
Dude, some guys seem convinced that Yamaoka and Ito were being forced to make the game, and they're like, and I'm like, they don't even work for Konami anymore. Like, what?
Yeah, really.
Nobody forced them to come back and work on this with Bloober Team. Okay, that was something they chose to do. What are you talking about? I don't, and there were people repeatedly in the comments telling him, yeah, I think your reasoning, your logic here is deeply flawed. And he just kept insisting And then he said something about class struggle, and I'm like, what the fuck are you babbling about?
It always comes back to that. Or comes back to politics in some kind of way, shape, or fashion. Talking about horror video games of all things.
Like, I don't think they were forced to come back and work on this game. I really don't.
No. There's a lot of bad opinions running around.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it. Cautiously optimistic, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be at least like enjoyable and fun, and you know what I mean. I don't think it's going to be a complete shit show, but it is what it is.
They they bitched about the over-the-shoulder camera.
I didn't really see too many people saying, well, other than like the initial the chat during the live stream, but the chat during the live stream is always awful. So like either way, I didn't really see anyone complaining about the fact that it's going to be behind the over the shoulder, because I think everyone kind of assumed that. Yeah. Because I doubt there's many people that actually legitimately thought that it was going to be fixed camera.
Yeah, fixed camera and tank controls have their place, but let's be honest, the indie games now that are using that are banking largely on nostalgia for that, not because... I mean, we largely moved past that for a good reason, you know?
Yeah.
I know a little about strong weaponry.
Because it was definitely, I mean, at the time it was for a pragmatic reason where, like, they had to do it for hardware limitations, and it made sense at the time. And, I mean, it also makes sense, I mean, even outside of that, I mean, it makes sense for, like, in the horror perspective, you can do a lot with those camera angles and whatnot. But, I mean, at the same time, it's more practical to just have it over the shoulder, or, you know what I mean?
I see shit like this.
Because you don't have to have fixed cameras in terms of like hardware and like anymore.
Yeah. And don't tell me that the atmosphere gets destroyed or it can't be scary or whatever from a first-person perspective or over the shoulder. Like, you played RE2 Remake, right?
Don't touch it.
Yeah.
You played Alien Isolation and Resident Evil 7, right? And they were great, right?
Yeah, because like every perspective has its place and has its own advantages and disadvantages. So it's like, you know, like yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like, because I mean, first person's more immersive. Third over the shoulder is like, it's a lot easier to control. And then fixed camera, you can do a lot with like camera tricks and stuff. And
it doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's over. I kind of expected it because that's. First person is where it's gone. Where horror games have gone, so I kind of expected over the shoulder because I don't think first person would necessarily fit SH2.
No. A lot of people would have been up in arms about that, especially considering it's considering it's Blubber Team, and if it was first person, people would be like, "Oh my god, fuck this shit! No walking simulators, please." Yeah,
and to quell the fear about it being a walking simulator, if you pay close attention, you can see some of the combat when they were during the live stream.
Yeah.
And there's like a photo of combat or whatever on Steam page.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
So yeah, it's got combat. It's not a walking sim.
And it's not too hard to beat the Silent Hill combat anyway, because the combat in that series is hot garbage. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie.
I love every Silent game Hill, almost. Yeah, it is. It's trash.
Like, I think literally every game has awful combat.
4 is in like different ways. Shit.
Yeah, surprisingly. Like in Silent Hill 2, it was shitty. In Silent Hill 1, it was shitty. In Homecoming, it was really shitty. It's just, I mean, I don't know.
Homecoming, and I've never played any of the, actually, I really never played any of the post-4 games. Like, I never played Downpour. I never played Homecoming. Never played Origin.
I've beaten Homecoming a couple times. It's a pretty good game. It has a good story. It has a nice twist and stuff. But the combat is cheap. Like some of the enemies are cheap. It's almost like a pseudo turn-based game in a way, where like you attack and it's weird. I mean, it's really cheap. It's combat in general, the melee combat anyway. And I never played Downpour. I can't really say anything much about that, honestly.
Downpour, from what I can tell, people either love it or they really fucking hate it, and there's like no in between.
I don't even really know too much about it. I mean, I've seen like gameplay and stuff. I saw like reviews and like retrospectives about it and stuff, but I don't know. I never got around to playing it. I don't know why. I guess I never had much interest.
It's probably stupid expensive now.
That actually might be one of the because I think like since it's like a 7th gen game, I don't think it'll be as bad.
Even the fucking Vita game that everybody hated is still stupid expensive.
I bought that actually because I wanted to play it really bad. And I actually wound up buying that for. I actually think I got it for cheaper than what it was now. That's for sure. I think it's in the hundreds of dollars now. But yeah, Silent Hill Downpour PS3. You can get the first result on eBay is $58, which isn't too bad actually. So it's almost basically retail. What it was when it came out.
Okay. Because I'd like to get more. I really want to get 3, but it's like if you want to buy 3, you have to pay like $150 for it.
Yeah.
The cheapest way to get 3 is the shitty remaster they put out. I wish they would remaster 1, 2, 3, and 4 together as like a package.
Yeah.
And put it in like 4K, 60 FPS, you know. That would be cool. Give it a proper remaster. Give it the treatment it fucking deserves. Because,
and stop outsourcing to teams that don't know what they're doing. That's the main problem, because Konami doesn't do anything in-house anymore. They always like ship off their shit to third-party developers. That was the main reason why that remaster was so bad, because they sent it off to this one team that really liked mobile games. They lost the source code, yeah. That certainly does not help.
Which you can do a decent remaster without the source code.
Just don't expect it to be.
But you have to work at it, because obviously stuff's gonna be missing. It's gonna be incomplete if you're using an older version of it, or you have to rebuild parts of it, things like that.
Yeah. It seems like the main problem with the main problem I see with the remaster on PS3 and Xbox 360 is the fact that they both have everything's so clean. All the textures are clean. Like it's almost immersion breaking. Like how clean some of the textures are and stuff. Just how clean the world is. Like they literally clean the textures. It's so weird. Like textures that have like rust or something on it. Like they have they have a texture in its place that doesn't have it on it. It's so weird.
It's a shame that is the cheapest way, by far, to play 3.
Without like emulating or whatever.
Yeah, cheapest legal way to play 3, I should say.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. You can get those games like looking like they're remastered on emulators. That's how I played Haunting Ground. That's how I played Willow Rose, and it looked like I got it looking pretty damn good. It almost looked like a remaster.
I recently made backups of all of my PlayStation 2 games. That took a while. There's over 50 of them, and it takes up roughly 200 gig of specs.
Oh wow.
I'm sure there's a way to compress that further and make it take up less space.
I think so. So what else was that? The Silent Hill transmission. There was there's another game called Silent Hill Townfall, which only had like a teaser, and I have no idea what the fuck that's going to be. But the team that made it made these two other like text-based like horror game things, from what I understand. So I guess it's going to be in the same vein as those, like Stories Untold and Observation, I think it's called.